Implementation of AI Governance Framework by Q1 2025, a comprehensive overview. Introduction. The rapidly evolving landscape of technology, particularly artificial intelligence AI, necessitates robust governance frameworks to ensure compliance with regulatory standards and ethical practices. The initiative to implement an AI governance framework by Q1 2025 is a strategic response to these demands, with an allocated budget of $3.2 million aimed at enhancing compliance and developing necessary infrastructure. This report outlines the structured approach to the implementation. The phases involved budget allocation specifics, anticipated return on investment (ROI), and associated challenges. Key phases of implementation. The implementation will follow a structured approach divided into 4 key phases. Phase 1, Foundation and Planning, days 1 to 30. Stakeholder alignment. Engaging executive sponsors and forming cross-functional teams is critical for ensuring alignment and commitment across the organization. Requirements gathering. This phase involves documenting current governance risk and compliance GRC processes and assessing integration requirements to create a clear roadmap for the project. Infrastructure preparation. Setting up server configurations, data storage solutions, and security policies is essential to facilitate a smooth transition to the new governance framework. Phase 2, Core deployment, days 31 to 60. Pilot setup. Establishing a development environment and migrating sample data for initial testing is crucial to ensure that the framework can operate as intended. Configuration. Customizing the risk framework and defining user roles tailored to the organization's needs will help ensure the effectiveness of the deployment. User acceptance testing (UAT). Engaging stakeholders in testing validates the system's functionality and performance, assuring that it meets the operational requirements. Phase 3, Production and Optimization, days 61 to 90. Phased rollout. Deploying the system department-wise allows for real-time monitoring and support. Minimizing disruptions to daily operations. Performance monitoring. Tracking key performance indicators (KPIs) and refining processes based on initial feedback will enhance the overall efficiency of the governance framework. Phase 4, Full implementation and review, post 90 days. Final adjustments. After the phased rollout, making necessary adjustments based on user feedback and performance data will ensure the system operates optimally. Continuous improvement. Establishing a framework for ongoing evaluation and updating of the governance model will help maintain compliance with evolving regulations. Budget allocation and ROI. The estimated budget of $3.2 million is allocated across various expenses critical for the successful implementation of the AI governance framework. Implementation costs. Projected costs in the first year range from $340,000 to $875,000, covering software licensing, implementation services, and infrastructure setup. Annual maintenance. Ongoing costs are anticipated to be between $56,000 and $135,000 per year for system maintenance and updates. Expected ROI. The initiative is projected to yield an average ROI of 340% within 12 months, primarily driven by reduced manual labor costs, streamlined audit preparations, and improved compliance efficiency. Key benefits of automation. The automation of GRC processes is pivotal for several reasons. Reduction of compliance overhead. Automation is expected to eliminate 73% of manual compliance tasks, significantly reducing the labor-intensive nature of regulatory adherence. Efficiency in audit preparation. The time required for audit preparations is projected to decrease by 65%, allowing organizations to focus on core operational activities rather than compliance paperwork. Mitigation of compliance risks, with organizations facing an average of 47 compliance frameworks. Automated systems will help in managing these complexities more effectively and reducing the risk of regulatory fines. Challenges and considerations. Despite the clear advantages of implementing an AI governance framework, organizations face several challenges. Integration with legacy systems. One of the primary hurdles is integrating the new governance framework with existing legacy systems, which accounts for 60% of project failures. A phased deployment approach is recommended to mitigate these risks. User adoption, resistance to change among employees can hinder successful implementation. It is essential to develop effective change management strategies and provide adequate training to promote user acceptance. Budgetary constraints, ensuring that the project remains within budget while still meeting all compliance requirements requires careful planning and monitoring of expenditures. Timeline of events. The implementation timeline is broadly outlined as follows. Q1 2024, Initiat planning and stakeholder alignment. Q2 2024, commence requirements gathering and infrastructure preparation. Q3 2024, core deployment activities, including pilot setups and user acceptance testing. Q4 2024, begin production rollout with phased deployment by department. Q1 2025, complete implementation and optimize the AI governance framework. Conclusion. The implementation of an AI governance framework by Q1 2025 represents a significant step towards enhancing compliance and operational efficiency within organizations. By following a structured approach across 4 key phases and allocating a dedicated budget, businesses can expect substantial returns on their investment while effectively managing the complexities brought about by evolving regulatory demands. The anticipated benefits of automation coupled with strategic planning and stakeholder engagement position organizations to navigate the future landscape of compliance successfully. This initiative not only addresses immediate compliance needs but also lays the groundwork for sustainable governance practices that can adapt to future challenges in the AI domain. Counterintuitive information in AI governance framework implementation. 1. High initial costs versus significant long-term savings. While the upfront costs for implementing an AI governance framework can seem daunting, ranging from $340,000 to $875,000 in the first year, this contrasts sharply with the projected annual savings of $1.8 million in labor costs alone. The counterintuitive realization here is that organizations may initially hesitate due to high costs. Yet the long-term ROI anticipated at 340% within the first year positions these investments as financially beneficial rather than burdensome. 2. Reduction in manual compliance overhead. The expectation that automation might reduce manual tasks by a smaller percentage is challenged by the claim that automation eliminates a staggering 73% of manual compliance overhead. This percentage is much higher than what many organizations anticipate when considering the transition to automated systems, leading to a potential underestimation of the benefits of adopting such technologies. 3. Integration challenges contributing to project success. It is commonly assumed that integrating new technologies will lead to project failures. However, the statistics indicate that 60% of project failures stem from integration challenges with legacy systems. This insight flips the narrative, rather than viewing integration as a hindrance. Organizations should focus on its complexities as pivotal points for strategic planning and risk management. 4. User resistance is a major barrier. The assumption that technology will be readily accepted by users is contradicted by the recognition that user adoption resistance poses a high-impact risk to project success. This highlights the need for robust change management strategies rather than relying solely on the technology's capabilities to drive user engagement. 5. Compliance cost avoidance as a revenue stream. The notion that compliance is merely a cost center is challenged by the idea that effective governance automation can lead to compliance cost avoidance amounting to $2.1 million annually. This recontextualizes compliance not just as an operational requirement but as a potential source of revenue through cost-saving measures. 6. Phased rollouts as an optimization strategy. While many assume that a full-scale implementation is the only way to achieve success, the recommendation for phased rollouts actually serves as a method for optimizing deployment and addressing unforeseen issues as they arise. This incremental strategy can lead to better outcomes than expected from a grand launch. 7. Time reduction in audit preparation. The claim that audit preparation time can be reduced from 8 weeks to just 2 weeks through automation may seem overly ambitious. However, the consistent reporting of such drastic improvements suggests that organizations have underestimated the efficiency gains achievable through effective GRC governance, risk and compliance automation. 8. High ROI in the face of increasing compliance frameworks. The expectation that more compliance frameworks will lead to increased costs is countered by the assertion that GRC automation can actually enhance compliance efficacy and reduce the burden of managing an average of 47 compliance frameworks simultaneously. This positions automation as a necessary tool for maintaining compliance in an increasingly complex regulatory environment. 9. GRC automation as a competitive advantage. There is a prevailing view that compliance is a necessary evil. But the evidence suggests that organizations employing GRC automation can leverage their compliance processes as a competitive advantage. This is counterintuitive because it shifts the perspective of compliance from a hindrance to a strategic asset. 10. User satisfaction metrics versus adoption rates. The expectation that high user satisfaction would naturally lead to high adoption rates is misleading. Organizations must actively monitor and manage user engagement metrics separately from satisfaction scores to ensure successful implementation, challenging the assumption that positive feedback correlates directly with usage. These counterintuitive insights reveal the complex dynamics involved in the implementation of an AI governance framework, highlighting the need for strategic foresight and comprehensive planning in navigating the transition from manual to automated governance processes. In the report regarding the implementation of an AI governance framework by Q1 2025, certain aspects are crucial yet may be overlooked by many readers. Here are the significant points that warrant deeper examination. 1. Urgency of transitioning to automation. The report highlights the urgent need to shift from manual governance, risk and compliance GRC processes to automated systems. While many may focus on the technical aspects or budgetary implications, the urgency is significant due to the increasing complexity of compliance requirements. Organizations are dealing with an average of 47 compliance frameworks. Failing to adapt could exacerbate risks of non-compliance, leading to severe financial penalties and operational inefficiencies. This urgency indicates a proactive stance against the rapidly evolving regulatory landscape, emphasizing that organizations must not only comply but do so efficiently and effectively. 2. Integration challenges with legacy systems. Integration with existing legacy systems remains one of the most significant hurdles in automating GRC processes, contributing to 60% of project failures. While the report mentions this statistic, the broader implications are often overlooked. Legacy systems may not only hinder the implementation of new technologies but can also create data silos, reducing overall organizational agility. Understanding this challenge is critical for strategic planning, as organizations may need to allocate resources to retrofit or replace outdated systems, which could significantly impact budget and timelines. 3. User adoption strategies. The report briefly mentions the importance of effective change management strategies to overcome resistance and ensure successful implementation. However, this topic is often underappreciated. User adoption is not merely about training, it requires comprehensive engagement strategies that include ongoing support, feedback mechanisms, and recognition of early adopters. A lack of focus in this area can lead to underutilization of the new system, negating the anticipated efficiency gains. Organizations should consider cultivating a culture of compliance and risk awareness, which involves continuous education and communication about the benefits of the new systems. 4. ROI beyond financial metrics. While the report provides a projected ROI of 340% within 12 months, many readers may focus solely on the financial return. However, the qualitative benefits, such as enhanced risk visibility, improved stakeholder confidence, and better decision-making capabilities, are equally important. For example, reducing audit preparation time by 65% not only saves costs but also allows teams to focus on strategic initiatives rather than administrative tasks. This broader view of ROI emphasizes that the value of GRC automation extends well beyond immediate financial savings, potentially transforming organizational culture and operational effectiveness. 5. Risk mitigation strategies. The report identifies integration complexity as a high-impact risk factor. But it also highlights several mitigation strategies. This is a critical point that can be overlooked. Organizations must not only acknowledge risks but actively develop and implement risk mitigation strategies to address them. For example, maintaining parallel operations with legacy systems during the transition can help ensure continuity and minimize disruption. This proactive risk management approach is essential for safeguarding investments and achieving a smooth transition to automated GRC processes. 6. Continuous improvement framework. The mention of a continuous improvement framework is another aspect that may not receive adequate attention. The report outlines the need for ongoing reviews of performance metrics and user feedback to optimize processes continually. This is significant because it signals that the implementation of the AI governance framework is not a one-time event but an evolving process. Organizations must commit to regular assessments and adjustments to ensure the system remains effective and aligned with changing regulatory demands and organizational goals. 7. Industry-specific implementation considerations. The report touches on unique requirements for various industries such as financial services and healthcare. However, the nuances of these considerations are often overlooked. Each industry faces distinct regulatory challenges and operational environments necessitating tailored approaches to GRC automation. For instance, financial services may prioritize real-time transaction monitoring while healthcare organizations must focus on patient data protection. Understanding these specific needs can help organizations better align their GRC strategies with industry best practices, ultimately enhancing compliance and operational efficiency. Conclusion. Overall, while the report provides a comprehensive overview of the implementation of an AI governance framework, several critical aspects deserve more attention. The urgency of automation integration challenges, user adoption strategies, broader ROI considerations, risk mitigation practices, continuous improvement frameworks, and industry-specific needs are all pivotal to the successful implementation of GRC automation. Organizations that recognize and address these factors are more likely to achieve their compliance and operational goals effectively, positioning themselves for success in an increasingly regulated environment. The implementation of an AI governance framework by Q1 2025 is an ambitious and critical initiative for organizations to enhance their compliance and risk management processes. Here are 4 valuable points for in-depth analysis and discussion. 1. Phased implementation strategy. The structured approach involving 3 distinct phases, foundation and planning, core deployment, and production and optimization, provides a roadmap for organizations to systematically transition from manual governance, risk, and compliance GRC processes to automated systems. Importance of stakeholder engagement. The initial phase emphasizes stakeholder alignment and requirements gathering, which are critical for ensuring that all functional areas are represented and that the solution meets diverse needs. Engaging executive sponsors and forming cross-functional teams sets a foundation for support and effective change management. Risk mitigation through phased rollout. The phased deployment strategy minimizes integration risks associated with legacy systems by allowing for real-time monitoring and adjustments based on user feedback. This approach can significantly reduce the likelihood of project failure, which is a common concern in large-scale IT implementations. 2. Financial justification and ROI. The estimated budget of $3.2 million and the anticipated 340% ROI within 12 months pose a compelling business case for the implementation of the AI governance framework. Cost savings breakdown. Detailed analysis reveals that automation can dramatically cut compliance costs by 73% and reduce audit preparation time by 65%. For many organizations, the labor cost savings alone estimated at $1.8 million annually justify the initial investment. Risk mitigation value. The financial implications extend beyond direct cost savings. By preventing compliance violations that could result in fines exceeding $15 million, organizations can safeguard their financial health and reputation. This underscores the notion that the cost of inaction can far exceed the investment in compliance automation. 3. Automation and efficiency gains. The transition to automated GRC processes is not just about compliance, it fundamentally transforms operational efficiency. Elimination of manual overheads. Automation is projected to eliminate 73% of manual compliance overhead. This not only frees up resources for strategic initiatives but also enhances the accuracy and reliability of compliance reporting. The reduction in manual tasks allows compliance teams to focus on more value-added activities. Continuous monitoring and real-time compliance. Automated systems enable organizations to maintain continuous compliance monitoring, which is crucial given the increasing complexity of regulatory frameworks. The ability to respond quickly to regulatory changes and maintain compliance can position organizations favorably in a competitive landscape. 4. Challenges in change management. While the benefits of GRC automation are substantial, organizations must also navigate several challenges during implementation. Integration with legacy systems. A significant hurdle identified is the integration with existing legacy systems, which contributes to 60% of project failures. Organizations need to carefully plan and execute integration strategies, possibly adopting a conservative phased approach to minimize disruption. User adoption in change management. Resistance to change is a common barrier in technology adoption. Effective change management strategies, including comprehensive training programs and communication plans, are critical to fostering user buy-in and ensuring successful implementation. Organizations must prioritize user support and feedback mechanisms to address concerns proactively. Conclusion. The implementation of an AI governance framework by Q1 2025 is a strategic initiative that can significantly enhance compliance efficacy and operational efficiency. By carefully analyzing the phased implementation strategy, financial justification, automation benefits, and potential challenges, organizations can better prepare for the complexities of this transition and position themselves for long-term success in an increasingly regulated environment. 1. The Sarbanes-Oxley Act SOX Implementation 2002. The Sarbanes-Oxley Act was enacted in response to major corporate and accounting scandals, including those affecting Enron and WorldCom. The act aimed to protect investors by improving the accuracy and reliability of corporate disclosures. Its implementation required companies to adopt stringent internal controls and undergo regular audits, fundamentally changing corporate governance practices. Similar to the proposed AI governance framework, SOX emphasized the importance of compliance and risk management, leading to a significant investment in compliance infrastructure and processes. 2. The General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR) Implementation 2018. The GDPR set a new standard for data protection and privacy in the European Union. Organizations were required to comply with strict regulations regarding the collection, storage, and processing of personal data. The implementation involved significant investments in technology and processes to ensure compliance, akin to the automated systems proposed in the AI governance framework. Companies faced hefty fines for non-compliance, similar to the anticipated regulatory fines mentioned in the governance framework, driving the urgency for organizations to adapt their data handling practices. 3. Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act 2010. Following the 2008 financial crisis, The Dodd-Frank Act aimed to reduce risks in the financial system by implementing comprehensive financial regulations. Financial institutions were required to enhance their risk management practices and comply with various new regulations. The Act led to substantial investments in compliance and risk management systems mirroring the structured approach outlined for the AI governance framework. The Dodd-Frank Act underscored the necessity for robust governance structures to improve transparency and accountability in the financial sector, paralleling the motivations driving AI governance initiatives. Future outlook: predictions for AI governance framework implementation by Q1 2025. The implementation of an AI governance framework by Q1 2025 with a budget allocation of $3.2 million represents a significant shift in how organizations will manage governance risk and compliance (GRC) in an increasingly complex regulatory landscape. The structured approach outlined in the 4 key phases of implementation reflects a comprehensive strategy designed to leverage automation for enhanced compliance and operational efficiency. Below are predictions for the future impact of this initiative on organizations and the broader industry. 1. Increased regulatory compliance efficiency. As organizations transition from manual to automated GRC processes, we can expect a dramatic increase in efficiency in regulatory compliance. The anticipated reduction of manual compliance overhead by up to 73% will allow compliance teams to redirect their focus from routine tasks to strategic risk management. This shift will lead to faster adaptation to new regulations, reducing the time needed for audit preparations from weeks to days. Organizations will not only save on labor costs but will also mitigate the risk of regulatory fines, which have been growing significantly year over year. 2. Enhanced risk management capabilities. The future of risk management will be characterized by real-time analytics and enhanced predictive capabilities. With automated risk assessment tools integrated into the AI governance framework, organizations will be better equipped to identify potential risks before they escalate. Continuous risk monitoring will facilitate proactive measures, enabling organizations to respond swiftly to emerging threats. This evolution in risk management will lead to improved decision-making and greater organizational resilience. 3. Significant return on investment (ROI). The projected ROI of 340% within the first year is optimistic but achievable if organizations effectively implement the automation of GRC processes. As companies experience substantial savings in labor costs and operational efficiencies, we can anticipate that the trend will encourage further investment in GRC automation technologies. The financial benefits will likely spur more organizations, particularly in highly regulated industries, to prioritize similar initiatives, fostering a competitive landscape where compliance becomes a key differentiator. 4. Widespread adoption of phased implementation strategies. Given the potential integration challenges with legacy systems, the adoption of phased implementation strategies will become the norm. Organizations will increasingly recognize the need for a step-by-step approach to mitigate risks associated with comprehensive system overhauls. This trend will lead to the development of best practices and frameworks tailored for specific industries, ensuring that organizations can smoothly transition to automated GRC solutions. 5. Focus on change management and user adoption. To fully realize the benefits of automation, organizations will prioritize change management initiatives alongside technical implementation. Future projects will likely include comprehensive training programs and user engagement strategies aimed at fostering a culture of compliance. As organizations invest in user adoption, they will see enhanced functionality from their GRC systems, ultimately leading to higher satisfaction and better compliance outcomes. 6. Integration of AI and machine learning technologies. The future of AI governance frameworks will see an increased integration of advanced AI and machine learning technologies. These tools will enhance the capabilities of GRC systems by automating complex analysis, improving risk assessment accuracy, and providing deep insights into compliance data. As organizations adopt these technologies, they will not only streamline operations but also harness data to drive strategic business decisions. 7. Emergence of new compliance frameworks. As regulatory environments continue to evolve, particularly with the rise of digital technologies and data privacy concerns, we can expect the emergence of new compliance frameworks tailored to address emerging risks. Organizations that have established robust AI governance frameworks will be better positioned to adapt to these changes, ensuring that their compliance efforts align with evolving regulatory expectations. 8. Increased collaboration across departments. The implementation of an AI governance framework will likely foster greater collaboration across various departments, including IT, legal, compliance, and operations. As these teams work together to implement automated GRC processes, they will develop a shared understanding of compliance risks and responsibilities. This collaborative environment will enhance overall organizational effectiveness and ensure that compliance is embedded in the corporate culture. 9. Global standardization of compliance practices. As organizations adopt AI governance frameworks, there will likely be a push towards global standardization of compliance practices. Companies operating in multiple jurisdictions will benefit from unified compliance protocols, reducing the complexity of managing different regulatory requirements. This standardization will also lead to better benchmarking and sharing of best practices across industries, ultimately elevating compliance standards globally. 10. Long-term sustainability and competitive advantage. In the long term, organizations that successfully implement AI governance frameworks will gain a competitive advantage. By streamlining compliance processes and enhancing risk management capabilities, these organizations will not only reduce costs but also build trust with stakeholders. Companies that prioritize sustainable compliance practices will find themselves better equipped to navigate future challenges and capitalize on opportunities in an increasingly regulated world. Conclusion. The implementation of an AI governance framework by Q1 2025 is poised to revolutionize how organizations approach governance risk and compliance. With a structured implementation plan and significant budget allocation, organizations will benefit from enhanced efficiency, robust risk management, and substantial ROI. As the landscape of regulatory compliance continues to evolve, those who embrace automation and proactive change management will emerge as leaders in their respective industries, setting the stage for a future where compliance is both a strategic priority and a competitive advantage.